Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to day 2, technically, kind of I guess, of our all new iRacing 2025 Season 4 content reviews. Yes, today we're here in the all new Dallara IL-15 Indy Next car. A catchy name, I'm sure we all think the same. Here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, previously known as Gateway. It seems like, obviously, whether it's because of NASCAR 25 and licensing and everything like that, more and more of the ovals inside iRacing now are being given, like, different names. For example, now Atlanta is, I think, Echo Park or something like that. But yeah, basically, obviously, if you missed out on the video yesterday, we jumped in with the all-new Aston Martin GT3 Evo and took that around the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It was a good video, I enjoyed it. Some of you guys thought it was a little bit weird that I wasn't recommending the track or the car to purchase, so we'll wait and see as to whether I feel more strongly about Worldwide Technology Raceway. Now, quickly, as well, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for their continued support on this channel. But if you want to see, hopefully, some more oval racing from myself in the not too distant future, I actually have an iRacing oval dedicated channel as well. What I find with making content is that kind of the road racing and the oval racing are rather different inside the iRacing sim. Very, very different audiences. So I've got two separate channels to kind of differentiate them. What I'm going to do, though, today is I'm going to do some laps around the oval here at WWTR, and then we're going to do some laps on the road course as well to really kind of explore this car and see what it's capable of, hence why we're doing this on this channel rather than that channel. So yeah, leave a like, get yourself subscribed if you want to see more iRacing content from me. Let me know your thoughts and feelings as well down below on all of the new content coming to the sim. But yeah, let's head out onto the track. Well, for the oval portion then of this video, of course, we're going to run the car on its low downforce setting. But as always, first of all, we need to do a bit of a quick audio test. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I mean, it's an American race car. It's going to sound pretty good, isn't it? As we head out onto the circuit then. But so I've done obviously a little bit of racing in these kind of high downforce American race cars. I've won the Indy 500 inside iRacing as well this year, I should say. So I'm not going to claim that, you know, I'm an expert on oval racing inside the sim or anything like that, but I do really enjoy it, and I know that might be a little bit odd for a European to enjoy oval racing, but I want to get back in and do more of the NASCAR Cup Series and things like that as well in the not too distant future. But immediately I'm getting this thing up some pretty decent speed. Now, yeah, I thought for some reason that this track was already inside the game. I don't know whether there was an old variant or anything like that, but yeah, when I saw obviously this was completely new and obviously cost $12 inside the sim, I was like, fair enough, we'll give it a whirl and obviously see what it's like now. It is a bit of a weird oval in the sense of obviously turn 1 and turn 2 are a little bit tighter than 3 and turn 4 down the back end of the circuit, so it's kind of almost like the opposite of Darlington in that sense, but definitely obviously nowhere near to the same kind of extreme. Obviously it's a lot flatter of an oval as well, but you can see it down at turn 1. We are down in 4th gear, and obviously down the other end of the circuit we are able to leave it in 5th. Now, of course, generally speaking, you know, the most interesting thing I think for a lot of people is going to be, well, how this car kind of, you know, fares doing the oval racing, doing the road racing as well. So I'm hoping to kind of try and run as much of the new season as I possibly can in this car as well. We'll kind of see as to, you know, how well that actually ends up planning out, because I always want to run quite a lot on iRacing, and then time tends to become a little bit of an issue. But hopefully this year, yeah, we can do a little bit more of it. As I mean, we're approaching 300 kilometers an hour down the end of the straights. We're just getting up into 6th gear, but I would have thought, yeah, with a proper setup, everything like that, you're going to want to probably be trying to keep it. Oh, no, 6th gear is definitely the way to go. Can you leave it in 5th through turn 1? No, is it? Why is it downshifting to 4th? I thought I only went down 1 gear there. That's a little bit weird. It's all brushing the wall on the exit of the corner there. But yeah, so 5th gear definitely the way to go. So it actually seems like you pick up less speed down this back straight than you do down the front straight. I think just obviously where you carry a little bit less off of the corner as well. But yeah, obviously iRacing is desperately trying to go through updating all of its oval content, of course, ready for NASCAR 25 next month. which, of course, on the Oval channel, I will be doing a lot of videos with that. Really, really excited as well, obviously, for the IndyCar game that should hopefully be coming next year. I'm just hoping that, yeah, NASCAR 25 lives up to the hype, gives iRacing Studios kind of the confidence and, you know, the groundwork that it needs to make sure that these other games can obviously work as well as they're hoping they will. Because, obviously, you know, again, if NASCAR 25 is a bit of a disaster, then, you know, they might have to spend more time fixing that and developing more with it ready, rather than obviously focusing on the IndyCar game. But I'm hoping between the two of those, it's going to give us a bit more variety in the content we make in the next few years as well. There is just trying to leave it in 6th gear through that corner. I don't believe it's the way to go. You got a pretty good pickup, though, off of the corner. As, I mean, still there, you can see we're getting up to about, yeah, 276 clicks. No resistance, though, on the downshift to 5th gear there. Do have to be a little bit more careful through 4th, as you can already see the tyres beginning just to scrub a little bit of their speed. Probably not helped by my lines. But we're pretty consistently down in, like, the 29.2s at the moment as well. There is just trying to see if I can explore a little bit more on the exit of the corner. But, you know, as you would expect, this circuit, very, very nicely modelled inside the sim. It's a track that obviously works very, very well in both NASCAR and I think, you know, it would probably work as an IndyCar circuit as well. There is, again, just scraping the wall. It's a shame, with the exception of, like, the official IndyCar series that iRacing does, which, of course, now has come to an end, just like the real-life season. It's a shame that the IndyCar isn't more popular inside the sim. Sometimes the oval racing is pretty good, but, yeah, generally speaking, you know, attendance can be rather spotty, I think it's safe to say, at the best of times as well. But I think this car, depending on the calendar this season, could be quite good fun. There is all getting a little bit shaky. So clearly, yeah, the tyres will only go a few laps before they start getting a little bit loosey-goosey, as you would come to expect. Again, it's on a default setup, though, and everything like that. So, you know, it's not going to be particularly great. I would have thought, you know, good lap times here. You might well see people down in the 27s, I reckon, with a good setup on the car and everything like that. As yeah, that turn 1 curb you've got to be a little bit more careful with. As there we go, my first crash in the new IL-15. I was trying to explore the limits of what we could do there as well, but let's head back then. We're going to take this thing onto the road course, obviously on the high downforce setup, but let's just take a quick look at that accident. I think we just got a little bit high, didn't we? Yeah, into the wall. We actually got stuck in the wall there slightly. I don't know if that's a bit more of a replay glitch or whether they just need to fix kind of the collisions as well. I love the fact my name's on the rear wing. That's quite funny. Yeah, we kind of got stuck in the wall there. That was a little bit weird and picked up a bit of damage. As you can see, yeah, the damage model, of course, is always pretty good. You can see the suspension's a bit out of kilter, everything like that. But, yeah, let's head then over onto the road course. And heading out then onto the circuit here for the road layout, I guess we're going to call it, here from Worldwide Technology Raceway. Now, I've never driven this circuit before, so I've got no idea where we're going then, but it's going to be interesting to see how this IL-15 handles, obviously on a very different layout. Now, obviously, I'm running the high downforce setup, so on the offboard shots, you should be able to see some subtle differences, you know, with the wings and things like that. For this one, I'm just running the high downforce, STO, inside the car. As there we go, immediately. It's got a fair amount of power. I don't think we can argue with that. It's got enough power to light up the rear wheels, and, well, obviously, as you would probably come to expect from an American kind of race car like this, it's probably not going to be as sophisticated as maybe a European counterpart would be, you know, or even a Japanese counterpart now, I guess, inside iRacing, or with the Super Formula cars, as it gets very, very loose and lively through corner exit there. So I'd say I'm just trying to run a fairly standard setup. It didn't like the original setup that I tried to run on it. It kept crying that kind of the balance was out and things like that, and it was illegal to run around this circuit. But down in towards turn 1 then, obviously a rather long left-hander that just kind of gets tighter and tighter on the way through. Get on the throttle nice and tidy on the exit. Now, I believe this chicane should be flat out, nearly Just not quite got the confidence in the car and the tyres just yet. And then again, we've got another quick left into a long right-hander then. Of course, most road courses on ovals are pretty dull. You know, I would argue that Daytona and Indy are probably two of the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head that are pretty good. Most of them, you just don't really kind of have the space. And obviously, again, where the inside of the circuit is generally flat as well. You don't have much space, you don't have any elevation to work with either. Charlotte, that's another one where the road course is fantastic. Before I inevitably forget that and then get yelled at down in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones, I think, where, you know, most people are going to be buying it for the oval. Let's try to attack a little bit more through that first corner. Hopefully, we are slowly building up some tyre temperature. The curbs as well are very aggressive, so going to have to be careful with a lot of those. In fact, I don't think you're really going to want to lean on them around here. But yeah, now we're getting the tyres up to temp. It feels, you know, a lot kind of better there. Still wants to break free on the exit of that corner, but it feels like you can kind of carry a bit of speed. Again, obviously, I'm sure as setups improve very quickly, you know, this car will become a lot more manageable, and obviously people will find kind of exploits and things with it. I'm just surprised with how kind of much it wants to slide through that final corner. It seems to be a lot better now, but definitely still has kind of got the ability to try and break free from you. As I mean, even on this layout, we're doing sub 1 minute lap times quite comfortably. So, you know, I don't think it's going to be... I'm trying to think of the kind of car that would maybe go around here inside the sim. Oh, there you go. Trying to attack those curbs. You can get away with it a little bit. Maybe like the Skip Barber car. Obviously, maybe this thing. Formula 4, I'm sure we'll probably see some races as well around this venue. Whether they'll be very popular, is going to be a very different question there, as it is good fun. Now I've kind of got the tyres up a bit more, that, you know, it kind of wants to try and grip up, but it feels like it's probably got 50 horsepower too much to do it, which I'm not going to complain about. You know, I think sometimes having these cars that are a bit more of a handful inside the sim, is going to be very enjoyable there. It's just grazing the wall on the exit of that final corner. It will separate, you know, your good drivers from your mediocre ones, and, well, I think no surprises to anybody. I fit into the mediocre camp. So again, just trying to get the car lined up there. It's really fun, actually. Whoa! When you try and keep it precise, there's a huge slide through that next corner, and then through here again on the bumps. It is very sensitive. You know, again, it's kind of that thing, you know, I said about how this thing won't be as good as like a European or, you know, the Japanese Super Formula cars inside for road racing. Yeah, I've got to give this thing credit, of course. It is compromised. You know, it is designed to both oval race and road course race. So around a circuit like Indianapolis, I think it would be a hoot and a half, to be completely honest with you, as hopefully this is going to be a better lap time as well. But, you know, it does invite you to kind of try and push, but, you know, you overstep the mark, and it will punish you in an instant there, as almost going straight on down at turn 1. Luckily able to get the inside wheel there to rotate once again. So we go, through there you do not want to be attacking those curbs too much. You want to get as close to them, but avoiding them as best as you can. And then through here again, allow the car to run wide on the entry. It does tighten up though on the exit. So you've got to be so careful with it, but trying to push it as best as I can. Like I said, it's not like a bad road course layout, but I don't think it's going to be a hugely popular one. You know, if you're not some of the oval races, Daytona is definitely still worth picking up. Indy is still worth picking up, and of course Charlotte is free inside the sim. So those are going to be always the 3 road courses that I think you're going to use quite a bit. This place, though, yeah, if you're not interested in oval racing, I don't think it's going to be worth it. The car, on the other hand, though, I think, again, you know, if you're not an oval racer, it's not going to be the one for you. But if you enjoy doing a lot of different stuff inside the sim, I would say this car is quite fun. It's, like I said, it's pretty good on the road course. Of course, it's a bit more difficult to tell on the ovals until we've done a bit of racing with it, until the setup meta kind of becomes a bit more kind of planned out and everything like that. And obviously, especially, you know, once people have driven it, once people have learnt it, everything like that there is, I think, again, we might just been abusing the tyres a little bit too much. I want to try and go for one more fast lap, though, but before I call it quits, because, yeah, I must admit, I'm having a lot of fun trying to haul this thing around here. So, Let's try and go for one really sweaty lap before we finish off. And hopefully we can maybe dip down into the 50-second mark. Not quite sure that's going to be possible, but we'll wait and see. I think you want to try and get the car in nice and early for turn 1, because of course you have got a little bit of a bump on the transition off of the banking there. Use the grass on the exit. Track limits do seem to be fairly forgiving as well around here as well. Just getting the car wedged over that inside curb through that chicane. Like I said, again, try to stop the back end from sliding around, but you want to aim for a late apex there, so you want to carry a lot of speed through the first part down in towards this hairpin. Fairly simple. Second gear, try and get the car as close to the apex as you can, but roll on that throttle nice and early. And then again, the final corner, not really a corner at all in this machine. Say 50-second lap times here are still pretty impressive. I mean, this thing's got a fair bit of poke as well to it, which is always good fun in the oval racing stuff. 51.4. Can I go any quicker? I mean, this thing just, it's inviting me to try and push more and more. Now I've got the tyres hopefully back in. If I can nail this chicane, I just want to get a 50-second lap time out of it. So, oh, nope, no. That's, just keep it out of the wall. Keep it out of the wall. There we go. I think the car there is telling me that is going to be the limitations of my skill with it. But yeah, as a final recap then, the car I think is going to be brilliant fun. Again, a bit like the Aston Martin is going to be popular, a bit like Mexico. I'm not entirely sure how popular it's going to be. I would have thought the track is going to be hugely popular. Obviously, it's in the NIS schedule. It's in the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. It's going to be popular there. I can see them doing like the Formula 4 America Series here. I can see them obviously racing this, the Indy 2000 car, and a few other bits and pieces. I would say, obviously, yeah, if you NASCAR race on iRacing, pick this track up. It's going to be popular, at least in the first few seasons as well. The car as well, I think, is brilliant. But I would maybe hold off a season, wait and see how popular it is if, you know, you are a bit tighter with kind of what you buy inside iRacing. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, though, down in the comments below. A massive thank you to everybody that has made it this far. Get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow taking on the all-new Ford Mustang. I'm looking forward to that. I think we're going to take it to Daytona, because that track has seen a bit of a refresh inside the sim.